Poland Daily Business Edition. Tonight our guest is Olaf Wojak of Adam Smith Center. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening.
And we'll speak about minute details of Polish economy because lots of entrepreneurs sense that governments wants to control them to the rise the level of control.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the latest months, we see the rise of lots of regulations concerning entrepreneurs and people running all of type of companies, and the problem is that the government sees this as a good move to know what's going on the market and to use it as a knowledge of the Polish economy. The problem is it costs much work and it costs much money to maintain all of the reports and to maintain all of the documents. So we have an example of companies working for military which are supposed to additionally give documents, financial documents, to the Ministry of Defense, to the Ministry of Defense, and the problem is that those companies are focusing on whatever they're doing, that they're working with military or with weapons, and they don't have time to fulfill all of the requirements. And from political and politicians' point of view, well, their point of view is that they don't have problems with the resources. Companies that are focusing on making money always will have this problem because they don't have free labor force. They don't have their own departments.
This is a legitimate concern. On the other hand, the margins on the military production are higher than normally or average in the economy. That's first. Second, there is a huge concern about...
It will go higher, which is
but I kind of understand this control over the companies that are delivering products to the army in many ways. So first of all, is a security concern. The company, the ministry has to know who is the owner of the company, what are the money flow behind the company, because it's an issue of state secret or a military secret. That's the first issue. And second, in many ways, the military equipment purchases are connected to the developed R&D works. And these R&D works are kind of concealed into the contract. So
in Poland less than in other countries.
In Poland, yes, but maybe this is a direction that this industry is moving on. We should remember that Polish arms sales is far beyond it was in the 80s and 90s, and there is a huge potential in this market. So maybe this control required by Ministry of Defense is part of this process that let's build our own military industrial complex, which will develop in the best interest of workers, entrepreneurs and the state alike.
I want to believe there is a goodwill, but you have to understand that we in Adam Smith Center believe in free market and we believe in free choice, and since that you cannot be sure that the Ministry of Defense will always work for good. Right now, you believe there are right people on the spot, but if you would say that 5 years ago, would you have the same statement that it's good for the military companies to give all of their statements and financial statements and all of their plans to the Ministry of Defense?
It's always tricky issue. It should be really treated case by case, I guess.
Probably. But of course, this was only an example, but because we're not talking only about military companies, we're talking about all of the companies and hiring regulations. And it's a very big issue for Poland because...
Split payment, that's something that raised concerns of the entrepreneurs.
Yes, but I want to finish the sentence. The problem is that Polish economy is, it has a lack of 70 billion zlotych each year because of all of the regulations. 70 billion zloty, that's quite a big amount.
You're talking about the transactional prices paid, business not done because of the complicated regulations.
No, exactly. And this is a very big issue. This is the biggest issue in Poland after the lack of VAT, which our government was fighting with.
VAT fraud, right.
And I really hope that this government is going to look forward into simplifying the law, into making the regulations easier.
Sir, one more concern. The Polish economy is part of the European Union's economy, and to a large extent our phenomenal growth in recent years is connected to this fantastic market that we have. And can we differentiate between our own rights, regulations, and those who are imposed by European Union? I mean,
you know, it's in Poland. There are lots of times that our departments and officials say that you have to do this way something because of the European regulations.
Right.
But then you go to those countries, you go to other European countries, and you see that it works quite differently.
Right.
So I'm not sure if this is because the European Union is looking on our hands and we just want to make sure that we don't do any mistakes, or it's because our officials are expecting of us much higher than the officials in other countries. But to give you an example, in Ireland, you can change your last name if you're a woman and you were married. You can change your last name just by a phone call to the official, and they're not going to check you. They just believe this is your word, and they're going to check your documents and change it by phone. And you can talk about your money, your incomes. You can correct your documents about your taxes. And in Poland, you cannot do it in one department. You have to spend few days to regulate it. You have to pay extra money to do it, and on each step, you will spend much time and you will have a lot of stress. And it's interesting because our official says it's not possible because of the European Union regulations, which is not, since Ireland is also in the same spot, and it really works for them. And this is only one example of many. In Germany, the officials that are working with taxes, they help companies, German companies. They're not looking for the failure, for something that they made wrong. They're trying to help them to move it through. And if you didn't cheat permanently, if you didn't do wrong because you wanted to do wrong, they will help you to move with your company further. And this is a big lack of something that our officials should do. And the last matter is that when we almost freed ourselves in '89, we had 154,000 officials in Poland. We have to remember that our economy before was focused on working as a central organism. So there was a communist central, which decided about everything that was on Polish market, even how many breads are going to be on stock. Yes, and right now we have a free market. We're in a digital era. We use computers, and we have 700,000 officials, a few times more, and 300,000 companies connected directly to the officials working only for the departments. So it's 1 million people in a digital era, which is right now doing a bureaucracy. Right. And that's something that really, first of all, costs us a lot, and second of all, really makes our life harder. It should be easier. I mean, we're in a almost free country. So
Polish word for the bookkeeper is księgowy, and without an official księgowy, you can practically not be able to proceed a business in Poland. So that's the hurdle. And 2019 is an election year. So I wait until these issues will come up as to the forefront of the discussion in between the parties and candidates to offices.
Well, we hope so, but we have to know that politicians take their money from citizens. So it's always a matter of having the taxes higher or lowering them. I hope the matter, and we're going to talk about lowering the prices and lowering the taxes and lowering the incomes of our country, having us to have much more money more money to spend.
I still believe that politicians are here to create a greater good and
you really believe that?
And strike a balance between the tax and benefit it comes and also the functional economy. But that's my belief, and I hope you share it with me. Olaf Wojak of Adam Smith Center, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that was it for Poland Daily Business.